Hello, friends. How are you all? We are meeting after a pretty long time, and I really hope you people are all doing well. Between the last time that we met and today's meeting, there is a huge difference because the exam results of the biggest and most competitive exam of the country, the results are out, and you would have all seen the encouraging trend of the results, right? How the life of the aspirants change overnight, before results and after results. They are all celebrities, and the family, relatives, neighbors, friends, everyone is so happy celebrating. And you get this celebrity status, you draw all the attention, at least for the next 1 year, till we have the next batch of toppers, right? So I'm sure you people are all the more motivated to get into the services. Yes, but not for the celebrity status, not for the attention of the media that you get, but for better reasons than that, but for the motivation to serve the community, to serve the humanity, and whatever goals you have in mind, right? So on that note, we'll begin this video. And like I said, we are meeting after a long time. So this video will be about answer writing practice, and prelims is round the corner. And once you are done with the prelims is the most important and most critical stage of UPSC cycle, which is the mains. And like I keep emphasizing that for main stage, the success mantra is answer writing, and more answer writing, right? So before I begin this video, I'll give a brief introduction about myself. I'm sure by now you are all familiar with me, and most of you already know me. But for those who are watching this video for the first time, I'll introduce myself to you. My name is Shatabdi Mazumdar, and I secured All India rank 80 in UPSC CSE 2019. I come from Agartala, Tripura, which is a very small state, and there itself I completed my schooling. After schooling, I went to NIT Silchar for a graduation. I graduated as an electronics and telecommunication engineer, and thereafter I worked in the IT sector as a developer for 2 years in Chennai. So at that point of time, I created a backup option for me, thinking that if I do not clear this exam, if I do not clear UPSC, then I at least should be having a fallback option with me. So I prepared for MBA, I wrote CAT, I cleared CAT, and I went to IIM Udaipur for the postgraduate program. After that, I worked for 2 more years, and again in the IT sector, after which I finally resigned from my IT sector job in 2016 and started my preparation for UPSC. So in 2017, I gave my first attempt, and I couldn't qualify the first stage. I couldn't qualify the prelim stage itself. After that, in the 2018 attempt also, I was in the borderline. I was expecting to clear the prelims, but unfortunately, I couldn't clear the prelims again in 2018 in my second attempt. Finally, in the third attempt, I secured this rank. All right, so no journey is actually like a bed of roses. Very few aspirants are there who clear it in their first attempt itself without struggling much. So most of the aspirants, when you hear them on the several channels or maybe classrooms or something, you would hear them say that we struggled for 5 long years, or maybe 4 years, or maybe 6, 7, 8 years. But yes, one thing is there for certain, that जब भी आप क्लियर करोगे, even if it is your 7th attempt, 8th attempt or 6th attempt, no one will actually care once you clear the exam. No one is going to ask you आप किस एज में क्लियर किए हो, या फिर कौन से अटेम्प्ट में आपका क्लियर हुआ है. All those things will not matter to you or for anyone else, right? So keep your motivation levels high, and have patience, have perseverance, and be consistent. And lastly, I would say that be confident and trust your hard work. It will definitely reward you. It may be time taking, it is only a matter of time. Today or tomorrow, definitely you will get rewards for your hard work. So with that trust, keep going, and I'll start off this video. So actually for the main stage, like I keep saying, that answer writing is the most important part, and you cannot bypass this stage. Anyone who have become toppers, who have cleared this exam, any one of them will appreciate the fact that this is one thing that you cannot bypass. ठीक है, हम सब ने किया है आंसर राइटिंग, बहुत रिगरसली आंसर राइटिंग किया है. वी हैड आवर ओन share of distress or pain with regard to answer writing. We all have our bad experiences with regard to answer writing. For example, if I look back, I started my answer writing after I had appeared for the first prelims. Like I said, 2017 में पहली बार मैंने prelims दिया था, and right after giving my prelims I realized that I am not going to clear it. So that's when I started preparing for my mains, and simultaneously I started answer writing. And trust me, it was very very painful to pick up speed. इनिशियल डेज़ में एक एक आंसर लिखने में अराउंड 40 मिनट्स लग जाते थे. येस, यू हर्ड इट राइट, 40 मिनट्स फॉर अ 10 मार्कर और मे बी 15 मार्कर. ठीक है. सो फ्रॉम दैट टेरिबल लेवल वी हैड टू बिल्ड अप डे बाय डे, एंड वीक बाय वीक वी ट्राइड टू रिड्यूस द टाइम, एंड करते करते वी brought it to the level of say about 6 to 7 minutes for a 10 marker and 11 to 12 minutes for a 15 marker. So it doesn't happen overnight, let me tell you. If you people are struggling with the time of answer writing, with the duration of answer writing, do not think that you are alone in this struggle. We all, each one of us, trust me, each one of us had seen such bad days. So don't worry, the earlier you start, the better it is for you. Do not delay, do not procrastinate when it comes to answer writing practice, because know today for sure that without answer writing practice, you cannot, clear mains with a good margin. ठीक है. So in this video I'll take up some of the questions that the aspirants have asked in the different levels as to how to start answer writing practice, what is the right time to start the answer writing, and how many questions to be written every day, what is the duration, any particular strategy to be kept in mind, how do you make your answers stand out from the other people, and so on. So we'll take up and address some of these key questions. So first and foremost, I'll talk about what is the right time to start answer writing. जैसे मैंने बोला था कि मैंने अपने केस में पहला प्रीलिम्स देने के बाद जैसे ही मैंने रियलाइज़ किया कि आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू क्लियर, दैट इज़ द टाइम आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग रिगरसली फॉर मेंस, एंड साइमल्टेनियसली आई स्टार्टेड विद द आंसर राइटिंग. बट दैट वाज नॉट द करेक्ट स्ट्रैटेजी, राइट. तो जैसे जैसे मैं बिल्ड करती गई प्रिपरेशन और थोड़ा मैच्योर लेवल मैच्योर हुआ, then I realized that this was not the right strategy. So for you people, I would say, do not repeat the mistakes that I have made. There should be a planned and organized way to write your answers, right? So don't go haphazard like I did in my case. There was no guidance back then in 2017. You people, आप लोग जो अभी 2019-20 में आप लोग एस्पिरेंट्स हो, you people are fortunate in that matter. ठीक है. तो आजकल गाइडेंस इतना ज़्यादा ईजिली अवेलेबल है. इंटरनेट इज़ अ वेरी वेरी गुड सोर्स. यूट्यूब में देर इज़ अ वीडियो क्रिएटेड फॉर ऑलमोस्ट ईच एंड एवरी डाउट दैट यू हैव इन योर माइंड, राइट. जो भी क्वेश्चंस आपके दिमाग में है, यू कैन जस्ट टाइप ऑन द यूट्यूब एंड यू विल डेफिनेटली हैव अ सोल्यूशन. तो उस इस हद तक गाइडेंस उस टाइम पे नहीं अवेलेबल था, एंड मेरे क्लोज्ड सर्कल में या फिर मेरे लाइब्रेरी में भी आई डिडंट नो मेनी पीपल हु कुड शो मी अ प्रॉपर direction, who could guide me with these struggling times. So that's why I am saying that I committed some mistakes because I did not have a guide who could mentor me. So for you people, I suggest that you go for a very planned approach. Like I say, फर्स्ट स्टेज में आप अपने NCERTs को बहुत अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करो. नॉट ऑल द NCERTs आर रिक्वायर्ड. देर आर अबाउट 8-10 NCERTs होंगे जो आपके प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा बेनिफिशियल है. सो यू बी वेरी थरो विद दोज NCERTs. आफ्टर दैट यू do the reference books or the what do you call that, advanced level books. By advanced level books I mean say Spectrum for modern history, the book by Nitin Singhania for art and culture, maybe Lakshmikant for your polity, and so on. So once you are thorough with the NCERTs and the advanced level books, then you can do a brief assessment of your prelim stage. कितना आपने इंटरनलाइज किया, कितना आपने ग्रास्प किया है फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ प्रीलिम्स. सो वंस यू हैव अ रीजनेबल ग्रिप ओवर योर प्रीलिम स्टेज, नाउ यू मूव ऑन टू द मेन स्टेज. मेन स्टेज का प्रिपरेशन में सबसे पहले यू हैव द सिलेबस रेडी विद यू, ईदर इन द हार्ड कॉपी फॉर्म और इन द सॉफ्ट कॉपी, विच एवर सूट्स यू. बट बी वेरी थरो विद द सिलेबस. आप मल्टीपल टाइम्स आप सिलेबस को देखो. इफ़ पॉसिबल जस्ट फिक्स इट राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. जिस टेबल में आप पढ़ रहे हो उस टेबल में यू कैन फिक्स इट अलॉन्ग विद द इंडिया मैप एंड द वर्ल्ड मैप, ताकि आप हमेशा उसको ग्लांस थ्रू कर सको. ठीक है, जब भी दिमाग में ये डाउट आता है कि ये पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक कौन से GS पेपर को बिलोंग करता है, यू कैन देन एंड देयर टेक अ लुक एट द syllabus. So first thing is to be very thorough with the syllabus. It is very lengthy, so take your time and be thorough. After that you collect the resources, have limited resources, and read all those resources from the mains point of view, right? So there is a difference between mains point of view and prelims point of view. The same resource, when you read it from prelims point of view, you focus on the dates, the facts, the trends, the maybe some names of some individuals. You focus on the factual aspects. Again, when you are reading the same resource from the mains point of view, you focus on collecting summary points. ठीक है, this is the topic. So these are the 5 summary points that I have to keep in mind. So that way, if there is some scheme that you are reading, so you have to remember what are the pluses of that scheme, what are the limitations of that scheme. So that is how you read from a mains point of view. So that way you cover all the resources of mains. After that, once you are thorough with the resources, next level is the note making. You make notes from the current affairs, the newspapers that you are reading, and you can also consolidate the static part into the same notes. So once your notes are ready, you revise those notes, and that's when you have to start with the answer writing practice. So before answer writing practice, you should have a thorough understanding of the syllabus, the resources, and the content within the resources, the notes that you are preparing. So revise those notes, both the static part and the dynamic part, so you are so thorough with the notes that you will be very seamlessly and smoothly writing your answers. So that is the right time of starting the answer writing. Some of the aspirants are confused that while reading the NCERTs or maybe the advanced level books for the first time, is it recommended that we do answer writing or not? In my opinion, you shouldn't be starting answer writing at that stage. It is because you do not have enough content at that stage, right? तो जब आप लिखने जाओगे, you will probably face a lot of hurdles. You will not get enough words, you will not have enough content to write. So that might be demotivating for you. So hold on, be patient. एक दो बार जब आप मेंस का पूरा सिलेबस कवर करोगे, आप रिवाइज करोगे अपने नोट्स को, दैट इज़ द टाइम यू विल नॉट हैव एनी डर्थ ऑफ कंटेंट एंड यू विल बी एबल टू write answers very confidently. So that's about it. Now coming to the next part, how to write questions, how many questions to write every day. So see, there are multiple resources available on the internet who post questions every single day. Around 8-10 questions are posted every single day from the point of view of mains. So my idea is around 7 to 8 questions if you can cover every single day, there will be nothing like it. And I mean, very soon you will get that speed, get that content, get that structure, everything in place very soon. So 7 to 8 questions is what I suggest. And if you are facing time constraint, if you feel that it is taking a lot of time to write the 7 to 8 questions, you are not that thorough with the content, आपको पढ़ने में भी समय लग जा रहा है बहुत. For example, for few questions you don't have any content at all, so you are referring to some of the maybe editorials or maybe some of the content from your static book, and then you are going to write the question. That way you are spending 2 to 3 hours in writing 7 to 8 questions. I'll say that you can start small. Maybe you can start with 5 questions a day and then move on to 8 questions. ठीक है, but that level from 5 questions to 8 questions should not be taking a lot of time. ठीक है, it is थोड़ा बहुत exhausting exercise है, but you will be able to reap the benefits of this in the mains exam. Alright, it will not only help you to improve the speed, it will also improve the quality and content of your answers. So that way you can do. Now one more thing that you have to keep in mind while doing your daily answer writing practice is that you should have a mix of questions. When I say that you have to write 8 questions every day, I mean that it will be a mix of GS paper 1, GS paper 2, 3 and 4. ठीक है, skewed patterns को avoid करिए, क्योंकि अगर आप डेली GS पेपर 1 के ही क्वेश्चंस लिखते हो तो it will become something like you are gaining strength in GS paper 1 and you continue to be weak in say GS paper 4. ठीक है, again have a mix of the theory part and the case studies part also, नहीं तो आपका case studies part weak रह जाएगा and you will not be able to cross that threshold. So net what I want to convey to you is that कोई भी GS पेपर को पीछे नहीं छोड़ना है एंड सेम इज़ द केस विथ ऑप्शनल. जैसे आपके ऑप्शनल के नोट्स रेडी हो जाएंगे and also you have revised those notes 1 to 2 times, I suggest that you can accommodate the optional questions also in those 8 questions. So every day it will be something like 1 question from GS paper 1, 2 from GS paper 2, maybe 1 from GS paper 3, again 1 theory question from GS paper 4 and maybe 2 questions from optional, 1 for paper 1 and 1 from paper 2. That means every single day you are in touch with each and every GS paper and also the optional papers. So that will help you significantly. ठीक है, so next day you can try something like this, maybe 2 questions from GS paper 1, 1 from 2 and maybe 1 from paper 3 and 1 case study from GS paper 4 and 2 questions from optional, 1 from paper 1 and 1 from paper 2. So that way you can cover almost each of the GS papers and optionals every single day. So this is about how many questions to write every day. So 7 to 8 is what I suggest, but if you have short time, then you can do 1 from each GS paper and 2 from the optionals, so that is 6 every day. Now next question is, what is the strategy? For example, if you are taking a mock test or if you are taking the actual mains exam, so what should be the strategy of attempting the paper? Coming to the GS papers, GS 1, 2 and 3, my suggestion is take up the 15 markers first, right, and then the 10 markers. This way you will be able to manage the time in your paper well, and also the content will be reasonable. 15 markers पहले attempt करोगे तो you will reduce the burden from your mind, because 15 markers मतलब 150 marks out of 250, which is a very big chunk of marks. So जब आप इस section को निपटा लोगे, the remaining 10 markers into 10 questions 100 marks, the burden is little lesser. ठीक है, तो my suggestion is आप 15 markers को fresh mind में जल्दी जल्दी around 11 to 12 minutes per question देके उसको ख़त्म कीजिए, and then move on to the 10 markers. Now coming to the GS paper 4, again my strategy here would be attempt the case studies first and move on to the theory part later. Okay, here the what do you call that, logic or rationale is again same or similar. ठीक है, the case studies are to be attempted first. आपका brain एकदम very active रहता है, एकदम fresh mind में आप होते हो, and again the weightage is very very high, around 130 or 120 marks. तो आप रीडिंग में भी थोड़ा टाइम लग जाता है, आइडेंटिफाइंग द कोर इश्यूज एंड द पेरिफेरल इश्यूज, मेंटेनिंग अ स्ट्रक्चर थोड़ा लेंथी भी रहता है, सो इट इज़ अ बिट मोर टाइम कंज्यूमिंग ऑल्सो. आई मीन केस स्टडीज़ में 120-130 मार्क्स होते हैं, थियरी पार्ट में भी अराउंड 120-130 मार्क्स होते हैं, सो ऑलमोस्ट वेटेज इज सेम, बट केस स्टडी पार्ट में एफर्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट थोड़ा ज़्यादा है, राइट. तो इस वजह से अगर आप थके दिमाग में रहते हो, अगर आप फैटिग्ड रहते हो, तो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू राइट गुड क्वालिटी सॉल्यूशंस फॉर योर केस स्टडीज़. सो फ्रेश माइंड में पहले आप केस स्टडीज़ को निपटाइए, उसके बाद मूव ऑन टू द थियरी पार्ट. So roughly the time estimate for the case studies is 17 minutes per case study. That's what I suggest. And after that 17 into 6 case studies, and after that you can devote the rest of the time for the theory part. Alright. Now next coming to the optional paper. Optional paper is slightly different looking. ठीक है, वहाँ पे you have 2 sections. And in each of the section, that is section A में there are 5 short notes to be written. Again in section B there are 5 short notes to be written. They are mandatory in nature. Now there are 2 ways to attempt the optional paper. Some of them, what they do is they attempt the other big questions, like apart from the short notes, apart from the 2 short notes, you have to attempt 3 other big questions also, so that you have to choose, right. So I personally what I do is I attempt the 3 big questions first, and then move on to the short notes which are mandatory in nature. So there is another way also to attempt the paper. First of all you attempt the short notes, ठीक है, 2 short notes, and after that you attempt the 3 bigger questions. So whatever suits you. I tried both the ways, but I settled down for attempting the 3 bigger questions first and then the 2 short notes. That kept me psychologically at ease. Now you can try any of the 2 methods, whichever is suitable for you. I mean, why I settled for this strategy is that by the time I would attempt the 3 bigger questions, my pace of writing and my thinking would open up immensely, ठीक है, and the short notes I would attempt very quickly, क्योंकि तब तक मैं पेस पकड़ चुकी रहती थी और मेरा दिमाग भी बहुत एक्टिवली काम करता था, तो दैट्स वाई मैं शॉर्ट नोट्स को बाद में अटेम्प्ट करती थी. So this is the strategy of attempting the GS papers, the ethics paper and the optional paper. Now next comes the very important question, how much time is to be devoted for each what do you call that, each question. जैसे मैंने बोला है GS 1, 2, 3 में it is more or less constant, 11 to 12 minutes for the 15 markers, 6 to 7 minutes for the 10 markers. ठीक है. Now coming to GS paper 4, again the first part is theory based and the second part is case study based. So case study based में you can keep some 15 to 17 minutes per case study, and for the questions again the time is 6 to 7 minutes per question. Okay, and now coming to the optional paper. Optional paper में you can have something like 40 minutes max to max for the 3 big questions. ठीक है. So 40 into 3, 120, 2 hours are gone, you are left with 60 minutes. ठीक है. 60 minutes में you have to write 10 short notes. ठीक है. So 6 minutes per short note. So that is the calculation. Again, now if you are able to save some time, like from the 3 bigger questions, you can increase some time in your short notes also. The maximum that you can use is 40 minutes. So you can time it that way, around 35 to 37 minutes per big question, and you can allocate say 7 minutes per short note. ठीक है. That way you can plan. Sorry. Now next comes the value addition part. How you can make your answers stand out from the others. Like I keep emphasizing on my KEDC model. KEDC model means keywords, examples, data and case studies. When you incorporate these 4 things, keywords, examples, data and case studies in your answers, their quality gets enhanced. So this is something you should focus on. For example, I'll give you some examples of keywords like criminalization of politics, committed bureaucracy, minimum government, maximum governance, ठीक है, bottom up approach, ठीक है. So all these things are keywords or key phrases. Again, I'll give you some examples to be used in a question. For example, in ethics, if there is a question on courage of conviction, you can use Raja Ram Mohan Roy as an example, who exhibited immense levels of courage of conviction when he fought against the societal practice of sati, right? So that way you can give examples in your answers. Some other examples can be any question on democracy, you can add an example of how to increase democracy. One very good example is what? The 73rd and 74th amendment of our constitution. ठीक है. So these are examples of enhancing democracy. Again, coming to a question on maybe SHGs, the best example could be the Kudumbashree model of Kerala. Now coming to data, how to use data in your answers. Usually in GS paper 3, what I suggest is you can start off the answer, that is the introduction part of the answers can have a data along with the source. Okay, for example, if there is a question on say the quality of primary education in India, if there is a question on related to the quality of primary education in India, in the introduction itself you can quote the data that around 47% of the students in rural India who are reading in class 5 are not able to read the textbooks of class 2 and 3, which is a very disheartening data, and that is given by Acer report by Pratham, right? So this is a very famous data. You can quote such data along with the source in the introduction of your answer. ठीक है. Coming to case study as a value add in your answers, one case study that is one of my personal favorites is if there is a question on say food processing in India, or maybe how to increase agricultural growth, or how to increase income to the farmers, something like that. So what you can suggest is food processing as the way ahead in agriculture. ठीक है, मैप्रो फूड्स इज़ अ वेरी गुड केस स्टडी in Maharashtra, in Mahabaleshwar, Maharashtra. So they have immensely increased the take home of the farmers by introducing this food processing, something like a own territory wherein they grow strawberries and they process those strawberries, convert them into the final products and they sell it to the customers. So something like that you can add as a case study. Another very good case study is that of Kuttanad model of rice cultivation underwater. You know, as the global warming levels are increasing and there is a threat that many of the areas, low-lying areas will be facing subsidence kind of a thing. They will be inundated by the water levels rising. So what is a major threat to us is that of rice cultivation. So Kuttanad has come up with a very innovative model of growing rice under water. So this is a successful story you can quote, right? So something like that you can plan using keywords, examples, data and case studies in your answers. It will enhance the level of your answers. Now coming to the last part of this video, how to structure the questions. Okay, the structure to in a very layman's language, I would say that there will be an introduction, there will be a body and there will be a conclusion, and yes, however short on time you are, however constrained by time you are, my suggestion is you have to evolve, you have to write, you have to increase your speed to that level जहाँ पे आपको intro and conclusion छोड़ के ना आना पड़े, ठीक है. Each and every answer that you write should have a good and short introduction, a body and a reasonable conclusion. This gives a sense of closure and a sense of satisfaction and a sense of, what do you call that, you give a clear signal to the examiner that you are a calm and composed person and you are not rushing throughout the paper. You have a planned and very organized approach to everything. So it is very important that you write an introduction, body and conclusion. So I'll take up one question quickly and I'll demonstrate to you what can be the structure of that question. So there are strong protests from the farmers against the 3 farm bills. Examine the reasons behind these protests and also suggest measures to strengthen the position of the farmers. So what is the question asking? It is saying that there are protests going on among the farmers, protesting about what? About the 3 farm bills that are introduced in 2020. Now the question asks, what are the reasons behind these protests and what are the measures that can be taken to strengthen the position of the farmers, alright. So we will move on to the answer part. So what will be the structure? There will be an introduction wherein you can talk about what are the 3 farm bills against which the farmers are protesting, and why are the farmers protesting? Because they feel that their MSP regime is going to go away and this will weaken and make the farmers very vulnerable. ठीक है. So you can also quote the names of the 3 farm bills that are being protested against. I think one of the bills is Farmers Produce Bill 2020, another is Farm Services Bill 2020 and another is Essential Commodities Bill 2020. So when you add the names of the 3 farm bills, you make your introduction very specific and it stands out from the crowd. The examiner understands that you are well read, alright. So this way you can make a difference. So that is about the introduction. Quote the 3 farm bills and also write why they are protesting. They are protesting because they feel that the MSP regime is going to go away and this will weaken the position of the farmers and make them very vulnerable to the exploitation of the business class and the and the corporates, right? So next we'll talk about what are the reasons for these protests. We will list down say 2, 3 or 4 reasons which we can recall. ठीक है. Now this part will be in a bullet point format. We list down some of the pointers why the farmers are protesting. The first reason, like I said, it has to do with the MSP regime. They are fearful, the farmers are fearful that they will become very, very vulnerable with the MSP regime going away. ठीक है. Now the second reason is that they have a very strong negative bias and prejudice for the corporates. They feel that they will be very, very vulnerable and the business class and the corporates will exploit them very, very badly. Now the third is that the center state relations. Agriculture comes in what list? State list. But their complaint is that there was no discussion sort of a thing that ever happened with regard to introducing and passing of these 3 farm bills. They feel that the states have been bypassed and the center have imposed their decision on the poor farmers. ठीक है. So they feel like cheated or very badly bypassed or exploited. Next is small and marginal farmers. They feel that their position has weakened so much that they will not be able to deal with the corporate sections. ठीक है. So now next part of the question will deal with what? Some steps from your side that can strengthen the position of the farmers. Obviously one is that of consensus building and taking everyone along, something like democratization of agriculture. ठीक है. The introduction and passing of the 3 farm bills should have been based on a consensus based approach, right? Taking the opinion of the farmers and also engaging in a dialogue to hear their concerns. Next is how to strengthen the position of the farmers by having a robust agricultural infrastructure in the form of connectivity, good roads, ठीक है, storage facilities, then supply chains should be very seamless. So all these things are going to enhance or strengthen the position of the farmers. Next is strengthening the MSP regime and not doing away with it, because it is a legal right of the farmer, okay, and they have this confidence to produce. ठीक है. MSP is giving the boost to the confidence to the farmers कि आप प्रोडक्शन करो, क्योंकि इस लेवल के नीचे कभी दाम जाएगा नहीं. तो आप जितना भी प्रोड्यूस करोगे you can sell it at this particular rate of MSP. तो फार्मर्स को डरने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है while producing in large quantities. They have that trust factor और confidence that मुझे कम दाम में नहीं बेचना पड़ेगा, because MSP is still existing. So this way you can suggest some measures which will strengthen the position of the farmers. Alright. Now next comes the conclusion. The conclusion should be slightly in the optimistic and futuristic manner. It should be positive and not एकदम रोना नहीं है. Conclusion should be थोड़ा सा hopeful, optimistic kinds. ठीक है. You can share one small data that agriculture is giving 59% of the workforce is contributed to agriculture. So we have to give priority to that sector and we have to take everyone along. The farmers' opinion and concerns have to be heard, and accordingly steps need to be taken. So something like that. This way you can end your answer. Alright. So this video was about answer writing practice and the several queries and concerns around it. I hope you will find this video helpful. ठीक है. So to listen to other videos like this, or maybe if you want me to take up any particular concern of yours, any particular topic or maybe any particular paper, then we can you can just get in touch with your mentors or maybe educators, and we can create many other such videos for your benefit. So on that note, we'll close today and we'll meet again. Thank you and God bless you.